Most of the fish Hal was going for earlier in the day were planted by the Department of Fish and Game. Toward evening, it was time to find some wild trout at the Hat 2 Powerhouse just east of the junction of Highways 89 and 299.
This is Hat Creek, just above Powerhouse 2. And it's a little area, this is all catch and release in here. Trophy trout, barbless hook. And we don't get the real big ones up in this section like we do down in the lower trophy trout section, which we'll be going to in a little bit. There's one. This is a little rainbow here. He took a little mayfly nymph, and he was down about 3 or 4 feet. No planted fish here, I'll tell you. I'll play him gently here because I've got an 8X tippet on. That's just about what you have to have for these Hat Creek rainbows. He's no monster, but he fills up a void in the afternoon here. Beautiful coloration. All the fins are there. Oh, easy now.
Hal kept us busy keeping track of the fish he had caught and released that day.
Looks like a little brown trout here. Yeah. They're not as fast as a rainbow, but they're just as strong. Let me see if I can't just get him up here. There we go. Little brown trout.
Hal likes to save the best for the last. He said he always plans his day so he can fish a special section of the Hat Creek fishery at dusk.
This is Hat Creek. In the trophy trout section, this is the slick area. Down here, you pretty much have to match the hatch. You want to have 10 to 12 foot a leader, minimum. And if you're using anything less than 7X, you really got trouble. Because these fish can see it. They can see the way the fly is drifting. They can see the way the fly is acting on the surface. And they just won't come to that fly if they see drag. They're used to seeing their insects, the nymphs and the adults, come straight to them. Now this is barbless hook. And pretty much catch and release down here. You have to, fish has to be at least 18 inches long before you can keep it. And I would say in the course of the season, I only see a couple of fish kept. Most of the fishermen that are here for the enjoyment. And we have Cal trout to thank for that. And when the fish are not kept, that's the reason that you get such large fish of such, they average such large sizes. Okay, there's one. All right, stay down low here. All right, it's not a very big one, but it's a good one. Come here, Crystal. Huh? You want to see this fish? Huh? Come here, where's that fish? All right, we're just gonna slide him in here. Oh, come here, beautifully spotted fish. Got all those beautiful colors on them.
Hal Janssen loves stillwater fishing, rising to the challenge of underwater nymph fly fishing, where the takes are usually the most subtle you'll ever find. So it wasn't surprising that he wanted to show us 2 of his very favorite Northern California stillwater fisheries. We started at Lake McCumber, just south of the turnoff into Lassen Volcanic National Park off Highway 89 near Viola.
Lots of lakes in California are owned by PG&E. Storage of water, use it for power. Dealing with about 18-acre lake here that has fluctuated. The water fluctuates because of the power. It's not a very deep lake. I think probably the deepest part, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 12 to 15 foot. Most of these lakes, the hatch will occur between like 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now the take is so subtle to these fish that you've got to be every second concentrating on that fly line and watching the last remaining floating section of your leader out there. The slightest little twinkle, glitch, movement would be an indication. Big fish don't take real hard. They just grab a hold of it and they just kind of savor it for a second. They kind of lick it, roll it around in their mouth just for a split second. If it doesn't feel right to them, they spit it out. Chunky little brown. Come here, little guy. A little football here. Get that leader, you got it caught underneath his little gill cover there.
In the early afternoon, we moved on to one of the most breathtaking scenic fishing spots in all of the North State. Just as you enter Lassen Park on the north end, you're greeted by a lake of incredible beauty.
This is Manzanita Lake. Elevation a little over 5,000 feet. It's Mount Lassen right up there. We're in Lassen Park. Now, Manzanita Lake, and get some beautiful brown trout and some exceptional rainbows that live in here. Now, it's a trophy trout lake, and that means that you can't keep anything under 18 inches in here. Now, around the edges of the lake, the depth of the water in there is anywhere between 5 and 7 foot around the edges. So you want to fish that with a floating line, mayfly, nymph, or a chronomid, and usually in the area of around about 10:30, 11 o'clock, you're going to get hatches of mayflies coming off in that area. As the afternoon progresses, you can work the dry fly in the area of about 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to switch over to a leech pattern on a sinking line, which is what we're doing right now. Now, I see a fish just show up out there. Let's see if I can't reach him.
Rainbows in Manzanita average about 18 inches, with some German browns going larger. Manzanita is a special regulations lake, so check them out before you fish it. This feisty fellow was one of the more than 40 trout Hal caught in those 2 days we had spent with him. Hal told us he didn't consider these 2 days as very productive.